Michael Morgan sitting alongside Johnny Phillips. John, first off, let's just go back to the White Mike Tyson. Whatever happened to that moniker? I like the White Mike Tyson because he was knocking brothers out.
I love the White Mike Tyson. Unfortunately, the powers that be didn't like the nickname the White Mike Tyson, so I had to change it. And sort of in a rush, I picked off the top of my head the Welsh wrecking machine. But ideally, I should have picked the Welsh Mike Tyson. But it is what it is, you know. I think everyone will always know me as the White Mike Tyson.
I mean, just on you actually tailoring your persona, how much of the White Mike Tyson is still inside the Welsh wrecking machine? Because obviously we know you for your knockout prowess, and we haven't obviously seen it of late. What's actually happened in terms of persona? Where is basically the White Mike Tyson gone?
I think, you know, some days you're the hammer, some days you're the nail, you know. You can have an off day, you can have an on day. Unfortunately, I've been unlucky with my last two fights, but there's always potential danger there for me to knock people out, and I'll be bringing a Saturday and chasing a knockout as I do in every fight. But, you know, I've had a great camp, I'm fit, I'm pretty sure I'll get the knockout.
And just on that camp, SBG, obviously the name which is synonymous with quality when it comes to fighters and fighter pedigree. I take it that you've actually gone back to John Kavanagh and basically looked at what went wrong and tried to rewire what could possibly go right. I mean, just talk me through the whole process of actually going back and sitting down with John. What does that look like? Does that look like a camp in Ireland, or does that look like a camp elsewhere?
You know, as long as we train and I've got good training partners, you can pretty much have a camp anywhere. Like, you know, and the first fight in UFC, I was physically prepared, but mentally it was just so overwhelming. And you know, make no excuses, I lost on the night, but I think I just didn't turn up that night. You know, and as stupid as it sounds, I just didn't turn up, and that was a tough pill to swallow. Big build up to it, and obviously a massive low. But I'm ready to make up for lost time, and you know, I go over to Ireland to train, or I go to Iceland or wherever. As long as I go camp, it doesn't matter where I train. And John knows I trains hard.
What is the difference between training in Iceland and training in Ireland? Obviously, the weather, but
I was going
is
to say
there a
the
different
temperature.
is there a different vibe? Is there a different outlook? Is there a different sort of feel to the training camp?
It's just sort of obviously like a fresh area that you've never been before, and just, you know, taking some new things in, maybe some new training partners, picking up some new tips. But pretty much everyone I trained with in SBG in Ireland went to Iceland, so I just went over to Iceland and had a tidy camp there. But like I said, it doesn't matter really. You can take the tidy group of guys that work around you and you work well with, and go anywhere. You know, we could have a camp. Christ, we could have a camp on the beach in Swansea if we wanted, you know, as long as we've got the right training partners. It doesn't really matter where you go, as long as you've got the right training partners.
Now, obviously, on Saturday you've got Jack Marshman. Now, you and Jack obviously have been on more or less the same sort of promotions. You've been on the same sort of timeline. Why is it just now in 2019 we are seeing Jack Marshman versus John Phillips?
I don't know. I've obviously asked to fight Jack Marshman before we both got in UFC. I was Bama World Champion. He was Cage Warrior World Champion. I put a post up asking to fight the winner of him and whoever had won the title, and it has never come off. We've been in on the same circuits quite a while, and we've never matched up really. We've tried to get it on a few times. It's never happened. I would have liked to have been. The Marshman fight to be my first UFC fight. Unfortunately, it weren't. It is what it is, you know. I think he's been avoiding me, and his team has been avoiding me really on the cards before UFC, and I think they avoid me when I come to UFC. I think they only fancy their chances now as they've maybe even pushed into a corner. I don't know, but I think they fancy their chances going off my last fight. On my performance, I come off a couch, fucking 21 days notice. I couldn't do a round in the back, and I think they looked at that performance and maybe thought yeah, he's beatable, but unbeknown to them, of course I was unbeatable. I was very unfit, but now I'm in great shape, so it's going to be good.
Now, I know it's an old adage and I know it's an old cliche, but they say that a wounded animal is a dangerous animal. What is it that we're going to see on Saturday night when you actually take on Jack Marshman, given where you're coming from? And to boot, you're literally fighting for your career.
Yeah, I think both of us are going to go out there and give it everything. You know, Jack is fighting for his career. I'm fighting for my career. He's on 3 losses. I'm on 2 losses. We've got to win. You know, we've got to give it everything. It's the unofficial title of Wales as well. Who's the best in Wales? You know, we're going to talk about this fight when we're older, and I want to turn around when I'm older and say to my grandkids, I was the best in Wales. I beat that Jack. You know, and I'm sure he wants to do the same. So come Saturday night, we're going to go in there and tell them so each other. I'm going to go in there and, you know, kill or be killed. Seriously try and hurt him, as I'm pretty sure he's going to try and do the same to me.
Now, I've been following you for a while, since your early Bama days. Now, one thing which kind of strikes me about you, John, is you're very, what's the word, respectful of your opponent. You're not a trash talker. Yeah, you want things and you ask for things in terms of opponents, but always in a respectful way. Now, turning your attention to what's actually going to transpire on Saturday, how does this fight finish?
Every fight I go into, I always look for a knockout. So I'd like it to finish with a knockout. I'll be trying to knock Jack out every second I'm in there. So, you know, and on the respectful side, I think it doesn't cost nothing to be humble. I can talk crap. They can talk crap. We're gonna fight at the end of the day. So it's pointless, you know, really getting into a slagging battle when we're gonna be fighting in a couple of days. So let our actions do the speaking.
Now, I know it is, again, an old cliche, but do you think the pressure is more on you or do you think it's on him, considering the amount of losses in totality that you both have? He seems to be edging more than you.
Yeah, I think he's got that little bit extra pressure. He's got 3 losses on a bounce now. I've got 2. So yeah, maybe he's just pinching the little bit extra, but the pressure's on both of us. We both got to perform. It's both for a title of Wales. It's going to be fireworks, man. I see us fight tonight.